In talking more and more about lead generation, different ways to grow your business, various services that you can offer to your clients, I'm getting more and more questions about, well, how do you actually generate results for clients? And I love, love, love that you are asking this question because this shows, well, that you actually care, that you want to make an impact on the businesses that you serve. And I realize we really should be talking about that a lot more here. So I'm going to be sharing with you one way that you can generate more results for clients. And I'm going to be talking a lot more about that coming up so you feel more confident in being able to offer these different services to your clients. Now, any client that comes to you typically is going to want more leads, customers, or sales. That is, how are you going to make my business more money? That, at the end of the day, is what is on every business owner's mind. So whether they sign up for web design, SEO, or another service, they only really want that because they think that they're going to get something else from it. And that is exactly what we need to get to the bottom of. Why do they actually want this service? What do they think it's going to do for them? So in order to actually have a successful website, to be able to generate these results for clients, we have to take the time to really understand the business, to know who they are, to know who they serve, what they offer, and go really deep into this to have a full understanding of the business. And that includes understanding their goals. Yeah, where do they actually want to go and where are they right now? You see, when we have this information, this really helps to guide our decisions and help us make better offers to the client because we know specifically what they need in order to get to the result that they want. Otherwise, we are just kind of guessing and we're probably going to be applying just a random tactic. Oh, I offer SEO, so you know what? You need SEO. But what if they don't when we actually get into where the business is trying to go and where they are now? So we're going to be talking more and more about this coming up here, but today specifically, I want to show you one way that you can gather some of this data to have an idea of how well the website is performing and actually help you get into what the business actually may need. So today we're going to be looking at Google Analytics users flow. Now, luckily for all of us, this is one of the more visual friendly aspects of Google Analytics, and it shows us exactly how the users are using the website and where they're falling off, what parts of the website is not really performing, so we can start gathering some data there and figuring out a good place to start. So let's take a look at how you can access this and how you can extract the data that you need to start making some decisions about how to have a better performing website. So here we are over in Google Analytics, and in order to access users flow, we're going to pop over to the audience section and we're going to scroll all the way down to users flow. As you can see, we have this really nice diagram, but we're going to cover exactly what this means here, and you can actually see what amazing information you can gather from this. So as we have some of the white boxes here, that is external to the website. Or when we see anything in green here, those are referring to actual pages on the website. And you'll notice these gray areas here going from one section to the next. Those all represent traffic that's flowing through from one page to another on the website. And anytime we see these red marks here, that indicates traffic that is dropping off. They are leaving the website. And that's really what we want to fix. We want to learn how users are actually interacting with the website here and really where they're not finding the information they need, where they're not actually taking the action that the business would want them to, so we can really work to convert more of that traffic. The more of the traffic that we can convert, or making sure that we have the right traffic that we are sending to the website, the better performing website we're going to have and the better results that that business is going to get. So let's take a look at this example here. This is for a local business and they have 66 sessions here on the homepage that's just represented by this forward slash. And as we can see from this information, roughly 50% of the traffic that comes to the homepage goes on to another page where about 50% also just drops off. And so they may not be finding the information that they need. And so that's really something that we definitely want to look at. Where here we can see on an about page, about 72% of the people who go to the about page fall off. Typically, if someone is going to find out more about the business, well, that's typically a good sign. So I want to make sure that, for instance, there's a call to action. We want to make sure there's a phone number there, or there's a form for them to fill out, or something for them to put in their contact information in order to receive, so that the business captures their information. So these are ways that we can look at that page and say, well, how can we make sure that that page has the information that this visitor is looking for? And then they take the next step. So with every page, we always want to ask the question, well, what's next? What is next for the visitor? So we can give them that. We can lead them to that. So this is going to help us look at things like design, of course, but more importantly, is the copy correct for this particular page? Is the copy helping guide them to take the next action step? Is there the actual call to action? Is the copy really meeting that ideal customer that the business really wants? Or are we sending traffic that really is not the ideal customer for this particular business? These are all great questions to ask, and this is what we have to find out. But this gives us a starting place. So now we can go out to the homepage. We can go out to the About page here, and we can take a look. Are there the call to actions? How is the copy? Is it out of date? Are there any call to actions? Is it speaking to the ideal audience? And we can start to formulate opinions here based on that. And this gives us things that we can test to improve the conversion rate on this site. So we can see here that after the visitors land on the homepage, we have a good chunk of them here represented by this thick gray bar here. Going to the About page here, we can see we have 20 of them going, where 9 of them go to contact. So there's about 29, almost nearly half are trying to get in contact with this business. So this is where we can find out, through setting up goals, for instance, in Google Analytics here. Once they actually go to the contact page, are they calling a phone number? Are they clicking to call? Are they actually filling out a contact form? Because that'll tell us if that's successful, because that could be a page where they should drop off because they've actually taken the action that the business wants them to. Now we can see that some of them coming from the home page, then go on to the About page, and then some of them flow through to another page. Here in this instance, it is 5 of them actually making a payment. So that is probably, of course, the returning visitors because, well, they've already had the service there. Some of them going into the philosophy, back to the home page or the contact page. So they've looked at the home page, determined that they may have the solution to the problem that they have. They go to the About page to find out more about the company. And then, well, hey, now I want to go contact you because I think you may be a good fit for me. So I want to show you something else that you can do to gather some data here now that you have a basic understanding of what this looks like. Now, what is really helpful is to be able to filter this to gather more insight. So here, this is based on the country. Well, this particular business only serves customers in the United States and even a smaller area within the United States. So this information isn't really all that helpful to them. But what could be helpful is understanding where the traffic is actually coming from and if some sources are performing better than others. So this is where we want to go to acquisition, and we can look at traffic type. So probably not a lot of SEO being done here. And we can see the ones that are flowing through are coming in to the home page here instead of maybe a particular landing page that has been optimized or a services page, for instance. So this may be that no SEO has really actually been applied here. So that's something that we can always go in and take a look at. So ideally, if you have various traffic sources, you have direct, you have organic search, you have referral, you have social, you have some bigger numbers here to look at, you can say, well, okay, let's take a look at just social. Okay, well, when we have social, they're not sticking around on the site as long, or they're falling off a lot on this particular page. So then we can better optimize those particular pages for social, or we can say, you know what, social just isn't performing. So let's stop spending our marketing time and dollars there, and let's spend more time on SEO, or vice versa. So this really helps us test out different traffic sources to see what is working. Now, another one that we can look at here is users, and we can look at mobile devices. So if we want to see, well, are we actually keeping traffic on the site when they're using a mobile site? We can see that. But if everybody's just dropping off, well, maybe there's something going on with the mobile version of the site here. So this is where we can start to see how that's actually performing. Now, country is the default that it's set to here, and that's where we can see if we are attracting visitors from various countries. We want to be able to do that, but we notice, let's say, a couple of the countries are completely falling off. If they are not the target audience, then we don't have to be as concerned, but if they could be, is there a language issue? Do we need to consider translating the content? Is there a cultural issue where something that we're saying isn't really working, or maybe it's something that they don't quite understand, and maybe we need to have a different version from them? So this just allows us to pinpoint really what's not working. Now, another way that you can do this is you can add a segment. So let's say here, what we want to look at, we don't want to look at all users anymore. We want to come down here and we want to look at new users. We're going to scroll down to returning users. So we want to compare new users on the site versus returning here. So we'll click apply. So now we can see almost 89% of the traffic coming to the website are new. So we barely have anybody who's returning. We have about 11% of the traffic returning. So that can tell us a couple of things. One, we don't do enough on the website to bring people back. Is there anything that we're doing, whether this is creating new content, new blog posts that, let's say, we can email out or we can put on social to drive our past visitors who are already starting to get to know us, to trust us, back to the website so that we can get them in either for a new service or a recurring service? But also looking at the new users, are we able to convert more of these? So this again is now where we can say, well, when we're looking at new, here we're getting most of our new traffic through direct. So maybe there is an offline marketing campaign that is going on that's sending a lot of these direct traffic visitors. So that's something we can take a look at. Is that working? Well, let's see. They start off on the home page primarily, again, over to the about page. So typically we're going to see people coming into the homepage. If they're coming in directly, then they're going to go to the services page because they're wondering, can you actually solve my problem? Do you have a solution to help me with what I'm dealing with? And then if they determine, yes, you do, then they want to go over to the company's about page because they want to know more about who is this company. And then if they feel that they trust you based on that, well, now they're going to reach out. So here we kind of have this same setup here as we did when we weren't looking at new users and returning users specifically, but it gives us an idea. And then we can look at the returning users, which is interesting because it looks like most of them are actually coming in through organic search. Most of them are then going over to the homepage. Again, that homepage seems to be ranked, but there isn't much SEO work that seems to be done on any of the other pages. So typically in organic, you're not necessarily driving traffic to the homepage sometimes, but not the about page and contact pages aren't really coming up. It's more so the individual services pages, blog pages that are going to be optimized and bringing in that traffic. So this may be an opportunity to look at, does it make sense? We'll do some keyword research to see, can we start bringing in some more traffic? Because when we get people into the homepage, they're coming into we're getting about half of them right now to come over to the about page, and then a number of them to carry on to more pages. We can see we even have a third tier that's popping up over here. So what I encourage you to do is to open up Google Analytics. If you have a client site, great, go in and play with this, play with some of these filters, see what it tells you, then pop over to the actual website and go through that little mini checklist that I talked about earlier, looking at the copy, looking at the design, the call to actions, who is it actually speaking to? And then making a decision based on that, what to start testing out on the website to see if we can improve those conversions. And this is where we can come right back to see how well this is working and compare the dates between the times that you started these tests and the present moment. So I hope this really helped give you some new insight in how you can start collecting data so that you can use that to actually start getting real results for clients. Because really, well, this is the planning and the data that you really need to have in order to start making better decisions that lead to specific outcomes that clients want. All right, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please do consider subscribing for more videos just like this, and I'll catch you on the next one.